Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because you want the crucial info without, getting bogged down in details, and that's what we aim for.
Exactly.
Today, we're focusing on something really important for many of you, the Social Security payment schedule for May 2025.
That's right. We've looked at the official SSA info, news reports, all that, to give you a clear view of when SSI, SSDI, retirement, even VA benefits are coming out.
So the mission is clarity on dates, maybe some idea of amounts, and just the key things to be aware of for May.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Key dates, potential amounts, need to knows.
And right away, May 2025 seems a little different. I saw something about SSI recipients getting 2 payments.
Yes, that's a key point this month. Definitely explain why that is.
Okay, good. But first, maybe just a quick refresher on what falls under Social Security. It's not just one thing, is it?
No, not at all. You've got Supplemental Security Income, SSI, that's based on need. Then Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, which is tied to your work record. Then the standard retirement benefits most people think of. And separately, VA benefits for veterans, handled by the Department of Veterans Affairs.
So SSI, SSDI, retirement, those are mostly the Social Security Administration, the SSA.
Correct. The SSA handles those distributions. VA benefits, as I said, come from the VA.
Got it. Okay, so let's dive into the dates for May 2025. What's first?
First up is May 1st, 2025. That's a Thursday. It's the regular payment date for anyone getting SSI.
May 1st, SSI. Easy enough. Anything else that day?
Yes, if you receive VA benefits, May 1st is also the scheduled payment date for those.
Okay, SSI and VA on the 1st. What's next on the calendar?
Then we have May 3rd, 2025. Now that's a Saturday.
A Saturday. They pay on weekends.
Well, this date is specific. It's for Social Security beneficiaries, retirement or disability, who started getting benefits before May 1997.
Yeah, okay, like a legacy payment date.
Exactly. And it also applies if you get both SSI and Social Security and started either one before May 1997. Your Social Security portion comes on the 3rd.
Interesting. So that group might get SSI on the 1st and Social Security on the 3rd.
Potentially, yes.
Right. Now, for the more standard Social Security payments, retirement, and SSDI for people who started getting them after May 1997, how does that work?
That follows the usual birthday schedule, and the payments always land on a Wednesday in May 2025.
Okay.
So if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your payment date is Wednesday, May 14th.
May 14th, second Wednesday. For birthdays, 1st to 10th.
Got it. Then, if your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th, your payment arrives the next Wednesday, May 21st.
Okay, May 21st for the middle group, 11th to 20th, and the rest.
For those born between the 21st and the 31st of the month, the payment is scheduled for the following Wednesday, May 28th.
May 28th, the last Wednesday. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesdays, based on birthday groups. Pretty straightforward.
That's the standard schedule, yes.
Now, let's circle back to that double SSI payment you mentioned. That sounds like the big headline for May.
It is quite notable. So yes, SSI recipients will get their regular payment on May 1st.
Right.
And then they'll receive another payment on Friday, May 30th.
May 30th. So right at the end of the month, is that like a bonus or some kind of extra help?
That's a common question. But no, it's not a bonus payment.
Yeah.
That May 30th deposit is actually the SSI payment for June.
Oh, okay. Why so early?
It's simply because June 1st, 2025 falls on a Sunday. The SSA doesn't process payments on weekends or federal holidays.
Ah, the calendar effect.
Exactly. So the rule is if the 1st is a weekend or holiday, the payment goes out on the last business day before the 1st. In this case, that's Friday, May 30th.
So crucial point, that second payment on May 30th isn't extra money. It's just your June payment arriving a couple of days early. You need to budget accordingly.
Absolutely critical to understand that. It needs to last through June.
And you mentioned this happens other times in 2025, too.
Yes, this isn't unique to May, June. SFI recipients will see this pattern again later in the year. In August, they get paid August 1st and August 29th. That second one is for September. Then in October, it'll be October 1st and October 31st, with 31st being for November.
Okay.
And finally, in December, payments will be December 1st and December 31st. That December 31st payment will be for January 2026.
Wow. Okay. So August, October, December, same pattern. Good to know for planning.
It definitely helps with budgeting if you know it's coming.
Now, what about that group we mentioned earlier, people getting both SSI and Social Security, who started before May 1997? They get paid on the 3rd for Social Security.
Right. For them, May could actually mean 3 deposits.
2023. How?
Well, they'd get their regular SI on May 1st,
Okay.
their Social Security benefit on May 3rd,
Right.
and then that early June SSI payment on May 30th.
So May 1st, May 3rd, May 30th. That's a lot to keep track of for that specific group.
It really highlights why knowing these specific dates is so important depending on your situation.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk money. We know amounts vary a lot, but can you give us some ballpark figures for May 2025? What can people generally expect?
Sure, but always with the caveat that these are estimates or maximums. Your actual amount depends on your record, other income, living situation, etc.
Understood. So for SSI?
For an individual on SSI, the maximum federal benefit in 2025 is $967 per month.
Maximum $967. What's the average look like?
Averages tend to be lower, maybe somewhere between, say, $715 and $943, depending on various factors. For an eligible couple, both on SSI, the max is $450 per month.
$1,450 for a couple. And the average?
The average for a couple is closer to $1,450.
Okay, so those are the SSI ranges. What about standard retirement benefit?
The average retired worker is getting roughly $1,950 a month in 2025.
$1,950 average retirement. And for SSDI disability?
For SSDI, the average disabled worker benefit is around $1,537 per month.
$1,537.
But it's worth noting, for SSDI, high earners before disability could potentially receive much more, even over $3,800 a month in some cases.
Yeah. Wow, quite a range there. What about survivors, like a surviving spouse?
The average benefit for a surviving spouse is estimated around $1,325 per month.
Okay. And VA benefits, I know that varies hugely.
It really does. It depends heavily on the disability rating, dependence. But just as a reference point, a veteran with a 100% disability rating and dependence might receive over $3,700 a month.
So significant support there, potentially. And again, all these can be affected by other income, right?
Absolutely. That's a key factor the SSA and VA look at when calculating final amounts.
Good reminder. Okay, so the money goes out on these dates. How does it actually arrive? How do people receive it?
Well, nowadays, federal law pretty much mandates electronic payments. Paper checks are very rare.
Right. So electronically...
The two main ways are direct deposit straight into a bank account.
Okay, standard.
Or loaded onto a Direct Express debit MasterCard. That's a prepaid debit card managed for beneficiaries.
Direct deposit seems like the easiest, maybe.
It's generally seen as the safest, quickest, and most convenient. The money's right there in your account on payment day, no waiting for mail, no risk of lost checks.
Makes sense. What if someone thinks they should be getting a paper check for some rare reason and it doesn't show up?
The official advice from SSA is to wait 3 additional mailing days after the scheduled payment date before you contact them. But honestly, the best move is to get set up for electronic payments if you aren't already. It avoids those issues.
Good advice. So, if the payment doesn't arrive electronically when expected, what should you do? Panic.
No, don't panic. First step, just double-check your bank account online or your Direct Express card balance. Sometimes it's there.
Okay, check first. Then what?
The next best step is to log into your personal My Social Security account on the SSA.gov website. You can usually see payment status and information there.
Online account, good resource if that doesn't clear it up.
Then it's time to contact the SSA directly. Their main number is 1-800-772-1213.
1-800-772-1213.
1-800-772-1213.
And there's a TTY number too.
Yes. For TPY users, it's 1-800-325-0778. And, of course, you could also visit a local Social Security office if you prefer face-to-face help, though calling or online is often faster.
Okay, multiple ways to follow up. Now, staying on track, what things do people need to tell the SSA about to make sure payments keep coming without interruption?
Oh, this is really important. Reporting changes in your life circumstances is crucial. Failing to do so can definitely lead to payments being stopped or needing to be repaid.
Okay, like what kind of changes?
Key things include any changes to your income or assets, especially for SSI. If you're on disability and you return to work, even part-time.
Right, work changes.
If you leave the U.S. for more than 30 days, that's a big one for SSI. Getting married or divorced, moving to a new address.
Moving, marriage, okay.
Starting a new job, obviously. Receiving a significant amount of money, like an inheritance. And sadly, you need to report if the beneficiary passes away.
So basically, any major life or financial change, you need to let them know.
Pretty much. It ensures you're getting the correct amount and avoids future problems or suspensions. Keep them updated.
Good advice. One last piece, the cost of living adjustment, COLA. Did that impact these May 2025 payments?
Yes, the COLA for 2025 was applied starting back in January. There's a modest increase, generally around 3.2% to 3.5%, depending on the specifics.
Okay.
So that adjustment is already factored into the payment amounts people are receiving in May. It covers all the benefits, SSI, SSDI, retirement, to help keep up with inflation.
Right. So the numbers we discussed earlier already reflect that 2025 COA.
Correct.
Okay. So just to hammer home the main point for SSI folks this May.
The key takeaway for SSI recipients: 2 payments coming in May 2025. Your regular May 1st payment, and then your June payment arriving early on May 30th.
May 1st and May 30th. Remember that second one is for June.
Please remember that. Budget carefully.
Definitely seems like May is a month to pay close attention to the Social Security calendar, especially if you're an SSI recipient. Really comes down to knowing the dates and keeping the SSA informed.
That sums it up well. And definitely use the tools available. My Social Security online account is really useful for tracking things.
Check your account, know your dates.
And if you have specific questions about your own benefits, just reach out directly to the SSA. They're the definitive source.
All right. So maybe something to think about as we wrap up, particularly for those getting that early June SSI payment at the end of May.
Yes.
How does receiving that money a few days early actually impact your budgeting? Not just for May, but for making it last through all of June. It kind of shifts the cycle, doesn't it?
It really does. It might require a bit more careful planning than usual to make sure those funds stretch until the July payment arrives. Yeah. Something to consider in your financial management.
A good point to ponder. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.